What I desire is man's red fire.
Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. All right, we're going to turn this down just a little bit. Y'all know when we first come in, the first thing we do is jam. So I have the pleasure of having such a phenomenal woman that I'm going to introduce you guys to today. So what you guys are listening to in the background today is I Want to Be Like You. So you guys know the EnlightenedPreneur Show is all about us transforming lives, helping other leaders lead, helping other people understand who they are and where the heck they're going and how to get there. Because that's what it's all about. It's all about us having some kind of direction. So I'm going to suggest that you guys just take about 30 seconds and vibe into this tune. I want to be like you.
Get mad, baby.
Oh,
I want to be like you.
I want to be like you.
Someone like me. Can't learn to be like someone like me.
Like me.
Can't learn to be. Gonna go wild. Have a wild finish there.
See, y'all wasn't ready for that this morning. I know y'all wasn't ready for that this morning. Oh my goodness. You guys know I totally love that song. I love the lyrics. I want to be like you. I want to talk like you. I want to walk like you. You see it's true. An ape like me can learn to be human too. And what's happening with us nowadays is us humans are learning to be our spiritual self. So this record, it was just like a perfect record for you to choose, Fiona, as your favorite Disney record. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you very much for asking me. It was a really cool question. You came out and you just said, pick your favorite Disney record that kind of speaks to you about what it is that you do. And I was like, I've got no idea. I can't think of anything. My mind went blank. And then I left it for a while. And then this song just came in my head and I was like, oh yeah. And then how does that work with what I'm saying? Oh yeah. It was just so right.
Yes. Well, awesome. And thank you so much again for sharing that record. So for you guys who are tuning in, I want to welcome you all to the EnlightenedPreneur Blab Show. This is the place where world changers impact lives by helping other leaders lead. Now, if this is your first time coming on to Blab with me, I want to thank you again for tuning in. Out of any other Blab that you could be tuned into out here in Blab World, you chose me, and that means more to me than anything. So if this is your first time blabbing with me, my name is Takiyah Diamond. I am the author of the Mind Up Personal Development book series, consisting of a few different life-changing books. One titled Get Your Life Together, another Wisdom Words of Consciousness, and another one, 7 Things You Need to Change Your Life, and many, many more. So yes, also, I am a motivational and transformational speaker, as well as a mindset and accountability coach. My expertise and passion is teaching others how to create the life they desire. And that is the purpose of me bringing on other entrepreneurs who love to do what they do by really, really genuinely just wanting to see other people succeed. Now, with that being said, let's be clear. Today, this morning, this afternoon, this evening, I am your host. So don't get it twisted. A woman of many, many talents. Now, if you were attracted to this show, chances are you are enlightened in some way, or you're either on the path to enlightenment. And you're seeking to take your gift to the next step. If you're not on a path, well, welcome. You've arrived at the perfect place at the perfect time. More than likely, it's because your journey is probably beginning to start now. So these type of things are going to begin to show up in your life. I created this platform for like-minded people who are actually seeking solutions to help them, because it's important for you to actually be the change that you wish to see in the world. We're all here for a purpose. And the purpose of Minds Up, the Enlightenedpreneur Show, is so that you no longer have to live by default. So we are all coming together, all of these wonderful people here, helping you to change lives by empowering minds. So before me this morning, I have this wonderful leader who's known as an expert. I mean, she's like the go-to expert on what your body is telling you. So I want you guys to give it up for Fiona Robertson. Now, Fiona Robertson is an intuitive success coach. She can help you recognize your potential and tap into your own body wisdom. Listen to your heart's desire by understanding your intuition. I don't know about you, but I need to understand my intuition, because sometimes I don't know whether I'm going or coming. So, and that is definitely Fiona's expertise. Now, Fiona helps entrepreneurs access and trust their intuition. She also helps them enrich their lives in every way, basically to help you make decisions more easily and know themselves inside out, spiritually, emotionally, and materially. So I want you guys to give a warm welcome and round of applause for Fiona Robertson.
Y'all don't know it, just don't dance.
Welcome, Fiona.
Like a party on cab.
Yes, you know me. I'm high vibe, high energy, so I love to bring the noise. So, Fiona, oh my goodness, it's such a pleasure to finally find. I'm hearing it. Double. I know it's not my mic, because my mic is like all the way on the other side.
What's up?
Okay, yeah, I can hear it. Do you hear an echo?
Ever so slightly, but it's not like it's open twice or anything, so it's only there. You think it's open twice somewhere?
Yeah, it might be two links. So look at the top of your browser and see if you see like two of the things that say Black Beta.
Nope. No. No, can't see where anything else would be coming from. So it's just on Blab. Are you still echoing a little bit?
I mean, it's fine. I don't. It stopped for whatever reason. It's okay. It's perfect. It's no problem.
There was two of you for a while. Oh my God.
You did hear it though, right?
Ever so slightly, there was a little bit of like repetition going on. Yeah.
No problem. Well, let's hop right in, Fiona.
Oh, okay.
Please share with us, how did you get here to this point of knowing that you wanted to be a success coach? I know that you help people with intuition and just kind of feeling their body. How did you get to that point of even understanding your own intuition?
It's a journey, like everything is, and I've been running detox retreats for the last 10 years. So as people are cleaning up and as I clean up and the change my food and my nutrition. I was just that much more aware of what was going on in my body. And the more I started to meditate and then actually talk to my body, the more I was like, oh, okay, well, that's a response. I'm getting a clear response. So then I tried to trust it a little bit more and experiment and experience it a little bit more. And then the more I was talking to other people and helping them do the same, the more I was learning. So by talking to my body, listening to what it was responding, so experimenting with either how does my body respond to me if it's saying yes? How does my body respond to me if it's saying no? And if I ask a question, what's coming back to me? Is it answering me? But I used to doubt and things like that. And so I was kind of used to kind of like the yes and no response, though sometimes it would get a little bit mixed up. And then I realized actually there is some communication going on here. So there's an intelligence. There's an intelligence, which I know anyway because of the detox. You've got like the second brain in your gut, so your gut instincts. So then I decided, right, well, if that's the case, then we can actually ask our bodies what is going on. So to begin with, it was to do with food. So instead of staying very regimented and diet orientated or forcing myself or other people to do a particular diet, I then got into the habit of kind of saying, oh, what do I really, really want to experience? What do I really, really want to eat? And it came from a completely different place than saying, I should eat this, I should eat that, this would be good for me. I don't like the taste of it. I don't like it's too cold, because I was eating a lot of raw food and juices and things. And at certain times of the year, it was just too cold for me. It wasn't very nourishing or nurturing. So then my body was giving me an image, and I was practically salivating with the thought of like, oh, that is what I really want. And then when I ate it, when I experienced it, it was completely different experience than just opening up the fridge and kind of saying, right, what have I got? What can I make with this, or what can I make with that? And just being very functional. I discovered by doing tests and things, I was very functional in my eating, very practical. So like, I haven't got much time here. What do I want to do? Why don't I just make something very quickly? Right. But then when I asked my body, what do I really, really want to experience? It came from a completely different place. Wow. That's how it started.
Wow, that's awesome. So you experienced this whole thing with basically your body telling you what it wanted, and then you following up and saying, okay, let me give my body what it needs. That's complete. That's awesome. That's awesome. So I know that definitely food plays a big part in us being able to see clearer, to hear clearer, and to just have like a better mind state, you know, when it comes to making decisions in our lives. Besides eating properly, what other things? Well, I shouldn't even say eating properly, because it's not really eating properly, because you kind of fed yourself what it desired, you know. What would you suggest are some of the best tools to actually allow yourself to stay clear, to receive that clarity and intuition?
Okay, there's two sides here. You can certainly go with all the things that you know are better for your body. So like, you know, you're in your head, so you know, drinking lots of water, you know, there's quality of water, there's the pH of the water, there's the raw food versus cooked food, there's vegetarian versus being omnivore or carnivore. There's, you know, there's lots of different ways, and certainly choosing your food that's very hydrated, very moist and fresh from the local vicinity. That's the food side of things. So you can also say, well, obviously being out in nature, you're much more connected to nature. If you allow yourself to be connected to nature, you can still walk in nature and you can still be deaf, dumb and blind. You can still not connect with the trees, and you're walking in big boots. You don't feel the ground underneath your feet. You're not smelling the scent on the fresh air rather than being in a lit building. You're not listening to the sounds that are coming through. We can still walk around, even in nature, and be ignorant and deaf, dumb and blind, just we can be mute. So there is so much that we can do, but it's just allowing ourselves to take the time to do it. So for example, if you're stuck in your head, and I know I can be really, really stuck in my head, as in, I've got this to do, I've got that to do, I'm action, action, action. What have I got to get done by the end of the day so that I feel satisfied?
Right.
And I can have just a long, 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 long list. And it was somebody that,
I said, me too.
I think it's generally, there's just so much to do. There's so many different ways to communicate with people now. There's Facebook, there's Twitter, there's, email. The standard email now is practically outdated, like the standard email, and letters and posts. And anyway, so you can get text, and then people are WhatsApping, and then Viper. There's just hundreds of ways to know where your information is going to come from. So you can stay in your head, and you can try and be in your head all day long and get everything done that you think is potentially necessary to get done. Or you can just, for a certain part of the day, allow yourself to just empty out. And this was something that was advised to me to do about 5 years ago. It was just go and sit in nature and don't do anything. I was horrified at that. What do you mean don't do anything? No, don't take a telephone, don't take a notepad, don't think and plan and try and get as much done as possible. Do nothing. And I was like, oh, you've got to be kidding me. How on earth am I going to make that time up?
Right.
So going and sitting by the river, I experimented for myself by the river in a forest or by the beach. The beach was too jumpy. The energy was just too active for me. And by the river was very nice. You could actually sit on the bank of the river, and I decided I was going to go and do that. So probably about the second or third time, it was like having an affair. It was, I've got to do this. This is just amazing. And I even think now, like, why don't I do that more often? Just go and sit and empty out. And it's like when you walk away, if you don't have an expectation, when you walk away, it's like, wow, oh, what a brilliant idea. I never even thought about contacting that person. And something very interesting is we don't ask ourselves, or our intuition, our soul, our inner guide, our gut intuition, what it is that we could be doing next. We don't ever say, who's the right person for me to contact to spread this message? Who's the right person for me to contact to meet as many people as I can if I'm going to this town? Who would be the best person to network with? And often when we do that, we get an image, or I get an image, or you get some information coming through, and then you think, oh, okay, well, I'll follow that then. And I think the more you start to trust those things, the better you become at listening to your intuition. I went to see my yoga instructor last summer. Hadn't seen her in her house for a long, long time.
Okay.
So I was driving there, and I'd got the directions from her first, and I was following her directions. But I remember when I spoke to her, I got an image of the road that she was on, and I thought, oh, it's not at all where I'm reading. It's not at all where I think it is. So I followed her directions and went left where she went, and I thought, well, that's the road I would have gone down, and went right, and I went, no, that's not right. It doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel right. Came back, rang her again. She said, no, you need to go this way. And I was just like, put the phone down, and no, I'm going to go my own way, because the road, the arrangements of the road had changed. And then I went the way that I thought, and there she was standing at the gate. And I went, and this is the image I had. This is the image I had.
Yes.
When I spoke to her on the phone, I said, where do you live exactly? Poof, I got the image. And there she was standing on the road. But when I followed exactly what she was saying, left here, right here, left, it didn't feel good in my body. My body was kind of going, and it was just like, it can't be up here. This is towards the motorway, So, yeah, it's just when you get something, when you slow down a little bit, I just got a message then. Why did I just get that? So being more aware, being more open, and if we're hyper and just trying to do things for good reason, but we're just too active, sometimes we'll completely miss those instantaneous, those blips that just come in and they never get repeated again.
Yes. So how do you tell the difference between it being your monkey mind answering you or your intuition actually speaking to you?
It's a good question, and I think we can still be fooled, and we have to know it for ourselves. I have some clients, and they read their body slightly different to how I read my body. But in general, for example, you get to be sensitive to your body, and that if something doesn't feel good, it's a no. So you have to get to know what your signal would be. That, for example, I always use food as an example. Okay, does this attract me? Is this food good for me right now? And you get an open, expansive feeling, or a warm feeling, or something that feels good to you. Your feeling might be completely different to mine.
Right.
And if it's not, then you might get this very very restrictive feeling, and sort of coming up through your throat. You kind of go, yeah, doesn't appeal to me at all. And you might, especially with food, because we eat 3 times a day, we're presented with food. And out and about, we're presented with food the whole time, and we've lost our basic instinct as to what our body's asking for.
Wow.
Yeah, so you're asking, how does it differ from the monkey mind? It's not a mental decision at all. It's a decision that comes wholeheartedly from the body. But if you are auditory, and if you're getting messages, then how do you know that message is from your intuition as opposed to your monkey mind going crazy?
Yes.
Monkey mind's normally very negative and very judgmental, or trying to get you not to do something. You have to get to know yourself and how you respond to kind of go, oh, this has happened before. Yep. I know tomorrow I'm going to feel completely different about that. I need to reset myself. I've just gone too far down the rabbit hole for this to get any clarity here.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Because sometimes you drive yourself so far down. And I know for myself, I'm like a bulldozer. I can push my way through anything. This is my previous way of doing things. I can do really quite a lot, but it's not necessarily very wise what I'm doing, or very intuitive, or it's never actually maybe going to have the results that I want.
Right.
Because I can push my way through and make all these things supposedly happen right there. Whereas, your intuition would probably have you selecting what was the right thing for you to do. So you were more focused, and you kind of go, what would be the right thing for me to do today towards my business? And you get a response, and maybe you would just go that way. And if you're having an off day, don't push it, because anything you write or anything you say is just going to fall on deaf ears, or it's going to, fall off into the bushes.
Wow. That's amazing, because, I had this experience recently, and I'm still trying to figure it out. Is it my mind, or I think I'm not even gonna say I think I know, because I believe I actually know. So there was an offer. Now, I'm doing the whole life coaching and speaking and all of that stuff, right? So I recently left my 9-to-5 back in December, right? So I get this call this week in regards to another 9-to-5 opportunity. So when I get this call for this opportunity, I went through the whole process of taking the information down from the lady. But when I hung up with her, I was like, I'm not going back to no 9-to-5. That's the whole reason why I left. Why I look like it. And I was just really going through this fight with myself. And then there was another part of me that was just like, well, maybe you could just go for a short time, just so that you can kind of, catch up on things, and then you leave. And then I was just like, I don't know about that. So this lady called again, like early this morning. She called, and I did the same thing. I took down the information again, and when I really tried to put it together, print out a resume and all this other stuff, I just don't feel like that's what I'm supposed to do. But then there's the other part of me that's like, well, you did say you was gonna go, so maybe you should go. So how do you deal with something like that?
Yeah. I've done some weird stuff in my time that people might think weird, but it's almost imagining yourself going to that job, for example. Imagining yourself getting up and going to that job and sitting in that job and doing whatever that job involves, and seeing how it feels in your body, as opposed to doing what you're doing now or doing something that you absolutely love. Right. When I coach people, I have to get them to understand their gauge. So example, very good experience, very bad experience. And where are you on that scale? And to get to know what your body feels like at most steps. Wow. So here and now, you're kind of going, well, I don't really know how I feel about it. Because one, you've never asked. Two, you don't know what it feels like to be in the job that would just be awesome. And you're not really sensitive enough to the fact of the pain, you know, like of the thing that you would really, really, really not like. So maybe you're only 50-50. I'll give you an experience of something that I did. Okay. Because I bought a house and I needed to get some work done on the house, and I wasn't able to have any friends do it, or I wasn't financially able to pay for everything. Right. And there were some jobs that I thought, oh, I've heard about these people who travel around and they want to come and work for you, and all you need to do is give them food and a bed. And I'm a traveler. I used to travel a lot, so I'm happy, you know, having people sharing my home and those kind of things. So I put it out there on the website. This is my home, and this is what I'm offering. And then I invited some people, and some people just invited themselves. So, but before they do, you have to like have a bit of a communication with them. And would be your head getting involved. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do the other? And I went, oh, I've got 2 young boys. I wanted to make sure that having a man in the house doing plumbing or building or whatever, that I felt comfortable. Yes. So I thought, okay, fine. Here's this guy. Don't know him. I can't figure out anything from his profile. How does it feel if he is now in my space? So exactly what I'm telling you to do about this, advise you to do about this job. How does it feel for me to be with this person in my living space? Mm. Feeding them, talking to them over dinner, with children, things like that. Same as you were sort of say, how would it feel for me to go into that job? So I did this experiment with about 12 people who came for me over like the spring, summer, autumn. Okay. So this first guy who came, and I was like, oh, nothing changed in my body. So how do I know? All right, fine. Well, I'll just double check. I bring in an ex-partner of mine, because I think I know what his energy feels like. And it's like ding, 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 ding. And it's chaotic. And I think, yep, that's him. I know exactly that. Oh, I can't concentrate when he's in the same room. I know that's what he feels like. Okay, well, I'll just check it with somebody else I know. Brought in another ex-partner from a long, long time ago. Yeah, that's his energy. Right, bring in, again, the energy of the person who is potentially going to come and work with me. Nothing changed. I thought, okay, he's 25 years old. He's half my age. Why not? I'll just invite him in, and we've had a nice email. That's fine. Okay. Nothing changed at all. He was so easy. He was such a nice guy in the fact that he was saying, is there anything else I can do for you before I go and wash up? Can I help you in the kitchen? You know, when we went shopping, oh, I'll carry that for you. And I was just like, oh my God. So then he left after about a month, and then somebody else came, and then somebody else came. And I was doing the same all the time. And every now and again, I'd check in with somebody, and I think, oh, that's kind of about 50-50. Well, can I live with a 50-50? They're good at their job, but I don't maybe particularly like some of their habits or their ways, or maybe they're not that sociable, or yeah, I can cope with it. It feels comfortable enough for me to cope with it. So that's the way I went through deciding who I could actually have in my space. And it was my body that told me. Mm. You can understand that. It was just, yeah, it was the easiest way for me to kind of tap in.
Wow. That's awesome. I tell you, I'm definitely utilizing my intuition more, just trying to connect with it. Well, I intend to connect with it much more, in order to gain clarity to a lot of things. And I think if we listen to our inner self more, or just ask your soul, what should I do, or how should I do it? Get out of your head and into your heart. it will probably flow way better than you.
Well, yeah, it's the intention that it should flow way, way easier than it does. I mean, we're now in a society when everything is very regimented and we're told what we should do. And even as a coach, you know, you're saying, right, this is a way to run your business. This is the way that worked for me. This is how to do this, you know, and it's not necessarily what is right for you, you know, to attract your clients or to attract, you know, to put yourself forward. Or if you're recreating the wheel all the time, we would be staying in the same. If nobody ever invented anything new, like Blabs new, and you know, all these kind of things. So we need to be open to doing things in a different way.
Right. That's so true. That's so true. So now when you, let's say, you know, someone begins coaching with you, what would you say sort of like is your process into helping them? So like, I know, I guess I shouldn't answer this. Let me allow you to answer this. So let's say I came to you. I'm an entrepreneur and I am looking to, you know, build my business. I have an idea of what I want to do. I'm seeking a location. We could just throw that in there because I know you also deal with other spaces just besides your own inner space. What would you share with me, or how would you help me? What would be your process to help me?
Again, it depends what comes up for me as to what's going on with you. So I would listen to a lot of what you were saying, how you were saying the words you were using. I would be very intent on trying to see where you were and what your words you were using to describe what you were trying to achieve. The ultimate thing is I always want to get people out of their head and into their body. Right. So I would always at some point say, right, hold on a minute, we've got half an hour left, and before we finish anything, I want to be able to get you from your head into your body. You've talked to me now from your head, so you've talked to me about everything that's going on here, about all your success and all your fears and what you want, what your desires. So we're going to bring the energy of the head, we're going to bring it down into the body. And when people are able to bring their energy down into their body, it's like they're able to connect with themselves. They can meditate from a completely different place. I know hundreds of people who say they meditate and they're religious about their meditation, but they're still in their head. They're still going through everything that they need to do, or asking them. There's like a little narrator. There's like somebody telling a story constantly in their head. I know, because sometimes I've been there and I'm like, I'm meditating and meditating. Really? You're not getting anywhere. Right. You've not even left your head yet. So it's bringing the energy and all the awareness that you've got that's going on in your head and encapsulating that and bringing it down to the body level so that your awareness is now coming from your body. Talk slower, you breathe slower, you walk slower, you're more purposeful, you're more focused, you've got a clearer mind, clearly.
Yes.
You are just operating from a completely different intuitional level. So you're just able to hear and understand much, much deeper. Then from that point, I would take somebody to understand where they feel very, very safe, so that they know at any one time that they can find their safe place. So that some people call it their sweet place or their special place. It's a bit like shaman work, shamanic work. So they then find their place within themselves, how they feel they're most relaxed. And from there is then I'm able to guide people to how they can find their most relaxed place to their most stressed place, the gauge. They know at any time where they are during the day. So for example, the first time I did this years ago, I found out where my stress level was, or where I was playing at most of the day. And I was just walking through town, going to the post office. Oh, that's interesting. I'll just check how stressed I am now that I know. Oh my God, I was like a 9. I was like, why am I a 9? It's a sunny day. I'm walking in France. I'm walking through the village. There's no threat. There's no anything. But because I've been brought up as to be a very vigilant person, you hear like, oh, do I need to avoid that person today? Do I need to walk on eggshells today? Do I need to, you're always modulating your own behavior so that you are harmonizing with somebody else to make things run smoothly.
Yes.
So I'm a very vigilant person, and a lot of people who are very spiritual or empathic are they are very aware of what's going on around them. They're very vigilant, and they're working at a very high stress level. So at that point, I was able to say, I don't need to stay in that stress place. I can actually bring my stress down. I can be more relaxed and therefore more friendly, softer and gentler with how I'm approaching things. And it changes your hormones as well, you know. You don't have all the cortisol racing around your body and all the false messages that you're getting through. So those would be very, very basic things that I would start people with. When I'm working with people for a longer time, we talk about their business. We talk about meeting the energy of their business. Yeah, we talk about maybe their business partners or who they want to work with. What do the energy of that person feel like? Can you imagine working with them? Do you feel safe? Does it feel good? So all the time it's bringing the reference back to your body, as in, how do you feel in your body? Does it feel good? We've all heard that, you know, only do something if it feels good. And then you kind of go, don't really know what that is, don't really know what that feels like. It's not something you're ever taught. So here's an example. My mother said when I was a teenager girl, you'll know. You'll just know when you meet the right one. You'll just know. And I'm thinking, how will I know? How? Somebody teach me. You know, so I'm teaching you how to know.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. So I briefly want you to share with us about how the experience you had with space, like actually feeling the energy of homes and businesses and things like that, and being able to make great decisions on that.
So she wants me to share how I do that, or what it feels like?
Yes, you can actually show us. That would be awesome.
Oh, crumbs. Okay. Well, I have a story about, I was just playing with some local businesses. I had their business cards, or I'd been into their business. I thought, well, your business has an energy. So I wonder what that feels like. So I wonder if I can tell what that business would feel like. So I'd been to a cafe just recently, and I knew that the couple themselves had just started the cafe. They'd had other businesses before, and now they were separate. And I thought, I've got too much information, so it might sort of change a little bit about what I thought. But I thought that the cafe itself was nice, but it just didn't have the full ambience. And I thought, okay, well, I'll change this to a business that I don't know anything about. But you know, when you go in there, I felt very welcome, and it was a big open space. So I was meditating, and I brought myself down into my body, and I thought, okay, well, I'll just think about this particular business, and I'll just see what comes up. And I got, poof, a big yellow light, big, and it was very light and airy and fun, and I could also see the business expanding. It hasn't yet, but I could see the business expanding into the unit next door, which is currently a garage. So this is like a food place. They sell all local foods. So I thought, oh, that's interesting. You just have to watch. You can't necessarily see something instantly. Right. So I thought, right, oh, fine. And then about a week later, I was driving past, and I went, oh my God, it's yellow. They've painted the doors yellow, whereas before, because they were still building it, it was in operation, but it was just wood. And I was like, okay. But the only way I'm doing that is just by knowing myself and being able to get my attention down into the body. So it's like a deeper meditation, and then bringing in the thought of that person or that business, just to see how it feels in the body. And sometimes I'm lucky, I get images sometimes. So I get images, and therefore I can actually see how that's going to be, how that's sitting.
Wow. That's incredible. I'm telling you, you have such an amazing gift. But I guess when you think about it, we all have this gift.
It's funny. I don't see it as a gift at all. And it's something that's developed I also work with people about helping them with particular emotions. I help people with why they emotionally eat or why they emotionally do something. So we all choose something to distract ourselves from going deep inside. We all have a way. So some people might be continually playing music all the time, playing music, running, playing music, everything. Some other people might have the television on. Some people might be stuck in a book. Other people might just be furious workaholics. Other people might use food. That was always been my métier, as in I helped people understand. So what is it that you are trying to replace? What emotion is it that you're trying to replace? What's under that? What's the foundations when you're choosing that particular food and you're habitually craving it or eating it? So that's something that I particularly love doing, because it helped me. And then so I was understanding the emotion that was going on and what you could replace it with, rather than grabbing the crisps or grabbing the nuts or grabbing the chocolate or grabbing everybody has a distraction. Some people it's alcohol, some people it's smoking, some people it's doing sport, running, working, anything that keeps you so busy and distracted from what's coming up.
That makes so much sense. So I know that right now you have programs that you actually assist entrepreneurs that will allow them to build with you one-on-one. Can you tell us about your program, what it is that you're offering them, and how they can actually reach you?
Yes. I have a website, which is www.fionarobertson.co.
Type it.
Oh, alrighty. Did I spell that right? Yes, I did. So that's my name and that's my website. You see the reference there, Home Detox Box. It's what I've been on Twitter as. That's my other business, which is helping people to detox. So it's like a 7-day detox period, and I'm going to be adding to that shortly with
that's awesome. Tell us real quick. I know you're
okay. It's a different subject, but it's what really started me off on this journey. So it's a real digestive cleanse. So like it's a 3-day fast.
Okay.
And you're taking all your nutrients and your minerals and everything else via juices and things like that. But it's 3-day fast with high fiber. So you're cleaning out your digestive system and your digestive tract, your colon. And this is probably where I'm coming from with the gut instincts, because I really feel it in my guts and solar plexus, when something's happening or when something's changing. So that's why. So the Home Detox Box is what started me off. So it's a 7-day do-it-yourself home detox kit. So you get a leaflet and you get the letter and you get the ingredients that you need to see you through the week. And it's actually bringing everything down to basics. And when people have taken away the food or the distraction or whatever it is, their real self kind of emerges. Does that make sense? When you take away what shuts you down, whether it's food or those kind of things, and because when you're doing a detox, it really is, oh my God, so no bread, no meat, no dairy, no alcohol, no whatever, no coffee, no stimulants, no sugars. You're kind of like, you're raw, you're kind of like, oh, okay. And therefore the emotions can come up and you're like, oh, why am I crying so much? Or why am I feeling so awkward? And this is the process of the detox that it does it for you.
Wow. Yeah. I think you better send me a sample of that.
So that's the Home Detox Box. I also run retreats where I guide people through doing a detox here in France. And the programs I'm doing about entrepreneurs wanting to get in touch with themselves and understand what's sabotaging them or what's stopping them sort of moving forwards, just being hyperactive or hyper conscious on certain things and having to get this done, having to get that done, and just really relaxing into the fact that everything's going to be taken care of. Just learn how to listen. Learn how to work with your business. You're doing it in conjunction with the universe. You are just the physical means. You're the hands, the legs, the feet, and the voice. And perhaps there's a soul-led business inside you that wants to get out, and you are just the physical means for it to do that.
Right. You guys better listen, I'm going to recommend at least one session with Fiona, because I had the experience of working with Fiona, and just that one experience that I initially had to have her help me changed everything, especially like in that moment. I felt like I'm always a happy-go-lucky person. That's just me. My energy is just like, you know? But it was like, you know, when Fiona helped me go into my body, I was still that happy person, but just in a calmer state, to where I could experience that happy person, but from another place. So,
and have you used that since?
Yes. I'm telling you, I use it, and I was just like, I gotta do more of this.
I think that's what happens. It's a bit like when I discovered myself by the river. It was like having an affair, and it was almost like that is almost the most important thing that I've got to do today, to get me focused and to get me out of this busy head and just like, oh, now I know where I am. So right. At any point you can actually check in with yourself. So if you're at a stressful meal or dinner table or meeting you've got to go to, you can go, where am I? Where am I? There I am. That's me. That's what I feel like. That's what feels good. And then you can, it's instantaneous. You know, it's one of the most important things you can do, and it can take 5 minutes to do once you know how to do it.
Yes, that's so true. That's so true. Oh, I know I have one other question. Do you, because you do the whole detox thing, do you have any recommendations for our listeners? Because I know sometimes a lot of them contact me with health questions, and I'm not like a health guru at all. I mean, I can tell you what to do, but I don't even follow the rules myself sometimes. So,
but that's interesting, because then we have to know, why don't you follow the rules? You know, it's just part of your character, or you're rebelling, or you whatever. And we all do it. We all have something. It's just like, why is it there? Why is that craving, or why is that naughtiness necessarily there? I didn't realize for myself why I was being able to be this detox diva, but then I was just like, oh my God, I've just, and then I was sneaking food, or I was doing stuff, and I was like, oh, this is so interesting. What's going on? Right. And the only way I was able to be naughty, because I'm cheeky, I'm naughty, I'm I like to live slightly on the edge, you know. But you become a mum, you become a businesswoman in a particular field like health or something like that. You think you have to present yourself a certain way. Right. And I was like, Mrs. Goody Two-Shoes. I was preaching about detox and educating about detox, but I was just like, geez. And then I realized one of my key values is adventure. Like, where's the adventure? Where's the naughtiness? Where's the spirit? And that was for me why I was choosing the bad food. And everybody was kind of, oh my God, Fiona, I can't believe you're doing that. I was like, yeah, well.
Wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. So
you just need to know.
Yeah, you just got to kind of feel your way through. And you just got to kind of feel your way through. Do you have any suggestions for a way of getting rid of those cravings that people have?
Well, you can physically remove any cravings with a detox. So like a detox, the way that I do it is kind of extreme. Okay. Because a lot of people who do detoxes are extreme characters. They're kind of like here or there, and they want the detox to be quite painful so that they know that they've done something good. So you can remove any physical craving in 3 days. Your body will reset itself. Your taste buds will change. Okay. What you want, but mentally and emotionally, that's a completely different matter altogether. So it's interesting to know, okay, so what is it that's calling you in those crisps or the peanuts? Is there an experience that makes you feel at home, comforted, warm, loved? You know, what is it in that particular experience that makes you feel the way you feel? So yeah, detox, well, it's a huge subject. It's a huge subject. But if you want some good ways to detox, I mean, you could just start by drinking more water. That would be key one. You could breathe. I mean, properly breathe. Yes. We're all very sort of upward breathers. And the way the body detoxes is flushing out the system with water.
Yes.
Flushing out the system with fiber and oxygen. And how do you get oxygen into things around your body? You move, you breathe more. So
exercise, do something.
Well, yeah, exercise. But if you can't exercise, I mean, I've had people that I've coached and they go, but I hate walking. And I'm like, well, don't walk then. Find something you like doing. She went swimming at the end, you know, and I was like, oh God, no, I couldn't do swimming.
It helps you make them knock out the excuse, because
so do something else. So yeah,
I love that. That.
Don't do something because someone else is doing it. Have you ever seen a happy jogger? It's painful.
Not quite.
No, so where I live on a lake, and people jog around the lake, and I've done it myself from time to time, but I didn't end up jogging. I ended up short sprinting. You know, I was like, did a sprint. I was like, oh, okay, if I'm doing another one, I'll do another one and just see whether anybody's watching. And I go walking in the mountains and I do those kind of things. It's not very adventurous for me. I prefer horse riding, or when I can. That's the adventure. That's the thrill. I might fall off. I could go fast. You're connected with the horse. Yes. It's the exercise and it's the thrill that I like. So I've asked my body what would be adventurous for me, instead of tapping into the crisps or tapping into the, you know, the food that makes me feel naughty or I'm living on the edge a little bit. It's like, really, food is always right down the bottom of the scale of what you're really after. And so are all those other distractions, you know, the smoking or the drinking or whatever. So once you find out what it is that you're missing and your body's telling you, then you'll be able to discover it a bit better. Yeah, but definitely water. I'm the fiber queen. Not very many people go on about fiber. They go on about juices, like green juices, and getting all your nutrients and everything else. But you've got to find a way of removing and cleaning as the fiber comes through the body. It kind of brushes you through. It's a very good cleaning. And disgustingly, you can have things, putrefied matter in your body for years. Right. And that clogs you up. That clogs up your brain. That clogs up your movement. It clogs up your joints. Right. And often when people kind of detox, I've seen people, they've completely got rid of eczema. They've got rid of skin rashes. They've got rid of all sorts of things. It's just being held somewhere in the body that hasn't been cleaned through. So I'm a fiber queen.
Yeah, I mean, what I tell everyone is discipline. You know, if you really want to change something, you just have to, you know, you have to do it, you know, and you're going to be, I always say, if you think about the end result more than the suffering that you put in your mind that you're going to go through in order to get it, you'll feel better about it, just knowing when I'm done, I'm going to lose this weight. My skin is going to be clearer. I'm going to look much healthier. And you come from a place of results rather than, oh my God, in order to get this, I got to do that.
I wouldn't ever go for anything that said discipline. I wouldn't ever go for anything that said take responsibility. I'd be like, well, where's the fun? I'd be like, okay, so show me, you know, how does that feel? If I don't like jogging or something like that, it's never going to happen in a million years.
That's true. That's true. Because
it really is. I can understand what you're saying about the visualization. Look how great you're going to feel and all the rest of it. But in that moment, everybody is trying to get back to the moment, but we're living in the moment. And everybody's like, do you know what? I'd rather have a cookie. I'd rather have a piece of chocolate. It makes me feel a bit more loved than putting on my sports stuff and going for a run. So find something that you really love doing. I mean, why not go dancing? Why not do whatever it is that moves you, you know? So like if you've got favorite music and stuff like that and you just can't sit still to it, well, there's a start.
Yes, that's awesome. Yeah, that was great advice too, because now that just shifted my consciousness about me thinking like, you know, it has to be disciplined. But I mean, at the end of the day, just focus on what's gonna make you feel good and place.
Feel good. Yeah, exactly. So if you feel good doing it, then it's gonna happen and you're gonna do it again. Whereas if you go for a jog and you kind of go, oh yeah, I kind of got really exhausted, but yeah, I kind of felt good at the end, but it didn't feel good. Feel good getting out the door.
That's so true. Well, Fiona, it's been awesome having you. Was there any closing points that you wanted to share with our blabbers today before
I've really enjoyed just blabbing. There's been no particular routine. There's been no particular formula that we've had to follow, and that's me really. I don't really fall into following a formula. It's never the same for everybody. So if I speak to you or if I speak to somebody else, it'll be completely different as to what route you go down or where somebody else starts. So at whatever point somebody's at is where I'll pick you up and I'll take you, or I'll show you the road. I'll walk next to you, that you find out your way.
Yes. So guys, don't forget to make sure that you visit Fiona's website. Fiona, tell them the website one more time, please.
I will, and I'll type it again because I love typing so much.
Yes, Ken says he loves that. If it feels good, it is. If it doesn't, it's not.
FionaRobertson.co is my website, and that's what it is. I mean, I've gone through the whole thing of trying to force myself to do exercise, force myself to eat a certain way and to be a certain way, and I do just believe that you're never ever going to do it unless you think it feels good.
That's so true.
And if somebody attracts you, so you're never going to go to a coach or go to a business that just doesn't feel good for you. And if you do for some reason, then something's just not going to sit right and it's not going to work. You're not going to follow the program that they have for you.
Yes. Well, guys, I hope you all enjoy Fiona's interview. I'm going to ask that you share it, tweet it, replay it, and everything.
Thanks very much.
And we're definitely going to bring Fiona back again because I know you guys love her so much. And
if you have any questions, then just ask away.
Yes. If you guys have any questions, you can ask it now, or you can just email her or go right to her website and she'll be able to assist you and get you on the right track, I wanted to definitely do okay. All right. So thank you again, my beautiful queen.
Thank you very much. And thank you very much for playing my favorite Jungle Book song.
Oh, you're very much welcome. And again, I do want to bring you back because I want to do a Q&A session with you so that
okay.
And we'll spread the word about it and everything. So stay here, Fiona. I'm just going to stop the recording and we can continue real quick. So I want to thank you all once again for tuning in to the Minds Up Enlightenedpreneur show. Listen, follow me, follow Fiona. Whenever you guys see that Takiyah Diamond is on, know it's going to be something powerful, know it's going to be something helpful, and know it's going to be something that's going to help take your higher self to the next level and help you evolve, because I'm all about evolution. I'm all about changing lives by empowering minds. The more you know, the more you grow. So minds up from my heart to yours. Deuces. We're going to jam out a little bit. I give you guys about 30 seconds. No, 10 seconds. Sunny day. Woo! It's all about having a sunshiny day. You guys have a wonderful one, and make sure you make the rest of your life the best of your life. Minds up.
Absolutely. Bye.